Welcome to the Cenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're diving deep into the world of dopamine.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
We've got this really cool article called Dopamine, What It Is and How It Affects Your Brain and Mood.
I read that one.
Oh, yeah.
Super interesting.
It's way more fascinating than it sounds at first glance.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be talking about mood swings, motivation, even how your gut health ties into all of this.
It's all connected.
Get ready for some serious aha moments during this deep dive.
You know, it's amazing how much dopamine shapes our daily lives without us even realizing it.
Really?
Think about that feeling you get when you finally check off a big task on your to-do list, or when you take a bite of your favorite food. That's dopamine.
So it's like our brain's reward system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, you did good. Do that again.
So there's like a deeper mechanism at play here. It's not just about like fleeting happiness.
Exactly. Dopamine does way more than just make us feel good. It plays a huge role in our mood, our ability to focus, make decisions, even controlling our movements. It's like this little chemical messenger orchestrating a whole symphony of brain functions.
Okay, so let's back up for a second. What exactly is dopamine? Like, paint a picture for us.
Imagine a bustling city with a crazy complex transportation system.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Dopamine is like the train carrying vital messages between different parts of the brain.
I like that analogy.
Each part of the brain has its own specialized station, for specific function. And this whole network, we call these dopamine pathways.
It's like a complex train route.
Precisely. For instance, there's the mesolimbic pathway, which is all about pleasure and motivation.
So is that the one that lights up when we experience something enjoyable?
Yes, exactly. Like eating your favorite food.
And that makes us want to do it again and again.
Exactly. It encourages us to seek it out again.
So like a rush hour commute, but for good vibes?
Exactly. But just like a city's transportation system can get all messed up,
Yeah, like traffic jams and delays.
Yeah, dopamine pathways can get imbalanced too.
And that's where things can get a little tricky for people.
Exactly. That's when we might see problems arise.
That makes total sense. If that reward pathway is always jammed up, it's going to affect the whole system.
Exactly.
So how does this then relate to things like mood swings or motivation problems?
Well, let's say someone's feeling down or they just can't seem to get motivated. It could be that their dopamine levels are too low.
So the reward train is running a bit slow.
Exactly. On the flip side, someone who's super anxious or jittery might have too much dopamine.
Oh, so it's like the train's going too fast and can't stop properly?
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance.
Like a well-coordinated transportation system where everything's running smoothly.
Precisely.
Now I want to talk about something I find really interesting, the link between gut health and dopamine.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What's the connection there?
This is where it gets super cool. Believe it or not, about 50% of our body's dopamine is made in the gut.
What? Really?
Yeah, so your gut isn't just about digesting food. It plays a big role in brain chemistry and your overall well-being.
So our gut is like a secret dopamine factory.
You could say that. Think of it this way. A healthy, balanced gut microbiome.
That's the community of good bacteria living in our gut, right?
Right. It's like having a well-maintained train station. Everything runs smoothly. Trains arrive and depart on time. Messages get delivered without a hitch.
Okay, I'm following you.
But if your gut health is off, it's like a station in chaos, causing delays and disruptions to those dopamine express lines.
That is a really good analogy.
Great.
So taking care of our gut is essential for making sure our brains have the dopamine they need to work properly.
That is all connected.
So how do we keep those dopamine trains running smoothly? We're going to get into that, I'm assuming.
Definitely. We'll talk about specific tips and strategies.
Okay, good.
But the key takeaway here is that dopamine is all about balance. Too much or too little can have a huge impact on how we think, feel, and behave.
I'm already starting to see dopamine in a whole new light.
Me too. It's fascinating how much power this one tiny chemical has over our lives.
I know, right?
Yeah.
As we go further into this deep dive, we'll uncover even more fascinating details about how it all works and what you can do to support your brain's incredible dopamine system.
Definitely. We've got a lot more to explore.
Awesome. I'm excited to keep learning.
Me too.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back after a short break.
Welcome back.
We've been talking about how dopamine is like a train carrying important messages throughout our brains,
Right, and how those train lines or pathways can get disrupted.
leading to imbalances, exactly. So now let's talk about what we can do to keep those dopamine trains running smoothly.
Sounds good.
Okay, so one thing that comes to mind is something we do every day, eating.
You got it?
Wait, are you saying that what we eat can actually affect our dopamine levels?
Absolutely. Certain foods are packed with nutrients that are like premium fuel for those dopamine trains.
Interesting. So what are some examples of those dopamine-boosting foods?
Well, think about tyrosine. It's an amino acid that's like the building block for dopamine.
Tyrosine. Okay, got it. So what foods have a lot of tyrosine?
Almonds are a great source, and they're easy to snack on.
Almonds, check. What else?
Eggs are another winner. They're full of tyrosine and other nutrients that are good for your brain.
Okay, eggs too.
And don't forget about fatty fish like salmon and tuna. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are super important for a healthy brain and for those dopamine receptors.
Brain-boosting fish. I'm adding that to my shopping list.
And if you're looking for plant-based options, bananas and avocados are good choices. They've got dopamine precursors and lots of beneficial nutrients.
Okay, so it sounds like a balanced and diverse diet is key for keeping those dopamine trains well-fueled.
Exactly.
But what about other lifestyle factors besides food?
You're on the right track. Regular exercise is another fantastic way to boost your dopamine levels naturally.
So working out isn't just good for our bodies, it's good for our brains too.
Exactly. When you're physically active, your body releases those feel-good chemicals, including dopamine. It's like sending a positive signal through your brain's reward system.
I can definitely relate to that feeling after a good workout. It's like my brain is saying, yes, keep going, this feels amazing.
Right, and it doesn't have to be super intense exercise.
Yeah.
Even a brisk walk, a dance class, or swimming can make a difference.
So find something you enjoy and get moving. Got it. What else can we do to support our dopamine levels?
Prioritizing sleep is huge. When we don't get enough sleep, those dopamine receptors become less sensitive.
And that's when we experience that brain fog, right?
Exactly. You might feel down or have trouble focusing.
Like my dopamine trains have been completely derailed.
That's a great way to put it. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night to keep your dopamine system running smoothly.
Sleep check. What about stress? I imagine that has a pretty big impact on dopamine too.
You're right, chronic stress can mess with our dopamine levels. When we're stressed, our bodies release cortisol, and that hormone can actually interfere with dopamine production.
Oh, so stress is like a dopamine train wrecker.
Kind of, yeah. That's why finding healthy ways to manage stress is crucial. Things like mindfulness meditation or deep breathing exercises can help lower your cortisol levels and give your dopamine system a break.
It's all about finding those calming practices that work for you. So we've talked about food, exercise, sleep, and stress management. Are there any other natural ways to support dopamine? What about supplements?
Supplements can be helpful for some people, particularly those who might be deficient in certain nutrients that support dopamine production.
Okay, so what kind of supplements are we talking about?
Omega-3 fatty acids, which we already mentioned, are a good option. Magnesium is another important mineral. It helps keep your nervous system healthy and supports dopamine regulation.
Omega-3s and magnesium. Got it. Any others?
B vitamins, particularly B6, B9, which is folate, and B12, they're all essential for producing neurotransmitters, including dopamine.
B vitamins, check. So there are quite a few natural ways to give our dopamine levels a boost.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about a quick fix. It's about making these healthy habits part of your daily life.
It's a lifestyle change.
Right. It's about supporting your overall well-being.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I want to revisit something we briefly touched on earlier, dopamine fasting.
Oh, yeah.
Can you elaborate a bit more on what that entails and its potential benefits?
Sure. Dopamine fasting has become really popular lately, and it's not about actually abstaining from dopamine. That's impossible. It's about consciously reducing our exposure to things that constantly trigger those dopamine spikes.
So like hitting the reset button on our brain's reward system.
Exactly. It's about giving our brains a break from things like social media, video games, or even excessive shopping.
All things I love.
Right. But these activities can kind of hijack our dopamine pathways, making it harder to find pleasure in everyday things.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that feeling of constantly being plugged in and needing those quick hits of dopamine.
It's everywhere these days. And while those activities aren't necessarily bad, it's all about finding a healthy balance.
Moderation.
Right. Dopamine fasting can help us recalibrate our reward system and rediscover the simple joys in life.
So it's like a digital detox for our brains.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be extreme. It could be as simple as putting your phone away for a few hours each day, turning off notifications, or doing activities that provide longer-term rewards.
Like spending time in nature.
Yes. Or reading a book, or having a meaningful conversation with someone.
But those are all great suggestions. It's about being mindful of how we're spending our time and energy.
Exactly. And making choices that support our mental well-being.
Now, before we wrap up this segment, I want to touch on something else we mentioned earlier, the link between dopamine and mental health conditions.
Okay.
As we've discussed, dopamine plays a crucial role in regulating our moods and emotions.
It has.
So when there's a disruption in that balance, it can contribute to various mental health challenges.
Right.
So we're talking about things like depression, anxiety, and even addiction.
Exactly. For example, with depression, there's often a lack of dopamine signaling in certain parts of the brain.
And that can lead to those feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and lack of motivation.
Precisely. On the other hand, with anxiety, there can be too much dopamine activity in certain areas.
Causing excessive worry and restlessness.
Right.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
amazing how these subtle shifts in dopamine activity can have such profound effects on our mental state.
It really is. And then with addiction, drugs and addictive behaviors basically hijack the brain's reward system.
Flooding it with dopamine.
Exactly, and creating that intense feeling of euphoria. But over time, the brain becomes dependent on that external source of dopamine.
Making it incredibly hard to break free.
Right. It's like those substances and behaviors are short-circuiting our dopamine pathways.
Making it harder to experience pleasure naturally.
Exactly. And this really underscores the importance of understanding how dopamine works.
And how to support its healthy balance.
Right. It's about making choices that promote our mental and emotional well-being.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like we've learned so much about dopamine.
Me too.
From its role as a neurotransmitter to its implications in our mood behavior and even mental health.
Absolutely.
And I hope our listeners have gained some valuable insights into the power of dopamine.
I hope so too.
Now, before we sign off, I want to remind everyone that if they have any concerns about their own dopamine levels or mental well-being, it's always best to talk to a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. They can provide personalized advice and support.
Well said. Okay, so for a final thought-provoking question to leave our listeners with, how can you apply this knowledge of dopamine to enhance your own life?
That's a good one.
Are there areas where you might be overstimulating your dopamine system? Or are there any natural dopamine boosters you can incorporate into your routine?
Those are great questions to think about.
It's all about taking what we've learned and putting it into action.
Exactly. Small changes to our habits and routines can make a big difference.
And that brings us to the end of our dopamine deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another insightful exploration.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.